connections.
I've watched like 20 of those damn videos, dude. Like, I'll sit there sometimes, like, I'll watch
really
one, then I'll go to
appreciate
the page, I'll check out a few more, like, oh, that's cool. Like, yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I've learned a lot of cool, like, local music, like, artists I didn't even know existed. I was like, I kind of like this song. You had one dude that rapped so fast.
Yeah,
He had,
Fluid.
yes, okay, was that the guy?
Yeah.
And he had that, there was one line, I wish I had it, like, written out on paper so I could read it, because it was like, I was like, hold on, rewind. What was that? Like, I had to watch it again.
You had to uncode a message.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
Welcome, guys, to the Gulf Coast Music Podcast. Today's new wave, Carson Taylor.
How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see. I should have had this pulled up, but
No, you're good.
why do you get kicked off that Air Force base?
Oh, why did I get kicked off the Air Force? Jesus. So, yeah, I'm sure this is going to be in the captions and stuff for the video or whatever, but, you know, I'm a comedian. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 11 years now, and I did a show last year. It was a big opportunity where a friend of mine booked a show at the Hurlburt Air Force Base in Fort Walton, Florida. And so it was me and two other comedians.
Is it easier or tougher to make people who are so desperate for a laugh? Like stereotypically the Army, you know?
All the elements of this were hard because like stand-up comedy should be at nighttime.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be low ceilings. Like low ceilings and like brick walls capture the laughter.
Like low standards or like the
like the actual ceilings.
Oh, okay,
like
gotcha.
you want ceilings as low as possible in stand-up comedy because then when people laugh, it keeps the laugh in the room. Like the energy lasts longer.
Right.
If you do comedy outside, as soon as people laugh, it just goes up to the atmosphere and it dies. Yeah, it's hard to get the energy low. And like a tight, small room with low ceilings is like. If you go to a really good comedy club, that's usually the vibe that you're going to see there.
Gotcha.
Because we used to do comedy upstairs.
It's like a cave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It holds the energy so much better. You can really like feel it. This was not that. This was like 30-foot tall ceilings in this big like banquet hall at the Air Force Base. It was at noon or like 11 a.m.
Right. A commemoration from Carson Taylor.
Yeah, it was, and I had so it was supposed to be me and two other comedians, and it was right when the stuff in Gaza started like happening, like started taking off, and so they were on this high security alert because at any moment they could get called to like have to fly across seas. Right. This is like day one of this stuff happening, so it was like high security.
Keep your walkie-talkies on you at the comedy show in case everything goes down.
And the other two people on the show had criminal records that weren't like closed cases yet or whatever. So they weren't allowed to get on the base.
The show was a comedy show.
Yes. It was just, entering was hilarious by itself because they had to turn around and be like, we can't do it. It's up to you. And I was like, how is my record's clean? All right, that's cool. Because I was like a mess in my early 20s. So I'm happy that like, all right, nothing's on there. That's cool. I can get on any Air Force base. That's good to know. But, I get on, the lady that was in charge of the whole thing, she turns and they all look at me and they're like, all right, it's up to you. And I was like, what? And she, as we're walking and I'm getting debriefed basically, she's like, tells me that the rules are that I have to do at least 30 minutes and that it has to be clean, but it doesn't have to be squeaky clean. So she was like, it can be PG. And this is the problem. When you start stepping on what people can say or can't say, it's like, well, where's the line then? Because you say squeaky clean, and to me, this is squeaky clean.
A Hall of Fame difficulty.
You know what I mean? This is why when you start saying what people can or can't say on stage, it's such a gray area. And so
we're going to judge you really harshly.
Like, just give me a list of words. If you gave me a list of, here's 100 words, we would appreciate it if you didn't hit. You know, it's like, cool, I could not touch these, you know? But like, so basically what happens is I'm supposed to do 30 minutes, supposed to be clean. She said PG-13 doesn't have to be family friendly. She's like, they're all adults in there. That's what she tells me. So I get on stage. And like I said, it's this lunch banquet thing. Right. And I'm sitting at a round table like this, like a 12 top, with like decorated officers, like corporals who just have badges like down to here. And
it was a lunch break? show?
It was no, they were doing it was like for an event, and we
Right.
were the entertainment for the event.
But right, it wasn't like you stood up. You just like sat down at the table.
Yeah, they told me that I could get some food before it started and sit
Oh.
down and eat with everybody.
Oh,
Yeah,
before.
this before. So, oh yeah, no, I didn't perform like this. I've been awful.
Right.
But I sit at the table. I don't have an opening comedian because they can't get on the base. So I had to go up after a PowerPoint presentation on drone technology, which that loads of laughs. You know, Like, everyone's ready to laugh after that.
Right.
So I watched this PowerPoint presentation.
I'm droned out. Are you guys?
Yeah, right. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, what is this? Like, it was about 300 people in there. Like,
Right.
It had to be somewhere between 350.
That's a test, man.
It was the biggest audience I'd ever performed in front of up to this point.
Right.
Like, most places I do a lot of bar shows, breweries, and even when I do comedy clubs, it gets up to like 100 people, but
Right.
350 was a lot. So I'm like, hey, I've never done 30 minutes clean.
Right.
I've done clean sets, but not for 30 minutes. I've never performed in front of this many people, and I've never done comedy at noon.
A test of your arsenal, literally.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it never occurred to me once that maybe I shouldn't do this, because I don't.
That's
know.
good.
You have to be a little bit delusional to make it an entertainment. You have to be like
a big bit.
yeah, it's like yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I'm just gonna dive off the board anyway and see what
Yeah,
happens.
for sure.
And so, and I learned a lot about myself that I can do it, but don't do what I did, which is I got 20 minutes into the set and things are going great for what I like in comedy, where I feel like if everybody in the room loves you, that feels nice, but it's not interesting. Like, people aren't going to remember that as well as like.
So you appreciate like a 75-25 ratio.
Yeah, I appreciate when someone doesn't get it or someone straight up doesn't like me. I found out today that someone I went to high school with apparently does not think I'm funny at all. Doesn't think that I should be running comedy at all. I'm like, ooh, that's a good thing your opinion doesn't matter. That would
You're
really,
like, fuck
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
I can get out of bed today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's good.
So, and that just makes me want to start more mics now. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
find sick. I'm gonna surround you with it, so you have to see my face all the time. You know what I mean?
You've got that psychopathic Michael Jordan.
Yeah, all right. Yes, I'm a huge on Kobe Bryant and Nick Saban.
Yeah.
and I like study them a lot. Like,
Did you see a recent Nick Saban interview where it was
Which one?
my friend just has been spamming it recently. It was like him just talking about his experience in Alabama. I guess just one of the common ones he's been doing recently. But I forget the dude's name. It was an ESPN type deal. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was just good. It was talking about how his best gift was like immediately after winning a championship. He was like, he didn't feel anything. He just like wanted to keep working.
Yeah,
And that was his gift. Yeah.
I'm
It's
the-
like, that doesn't seem like a gift.
I've been developing that mindset, and it is drives other people crazy because
Really?
I have a business partner who like we run shows and do comedy together,
Right.
and I drive her up the wall. She has to tell me sometimes like, you need to chill out, and I'm like, I know, because I'm like a workaholic, and I'm very much like, I don't wait till tomorrow. I hate, like, it was like, well, I'll get it done tomorrow. I'm like, if I can do it today, I'm going to go ahead and do it today and set myself up so tomorrow I can move on to the next thing.
Where do you get that from?
Watching, getting sober. I was like bad drinking in my 20s, so
Gotcha.
I'm about to be 2 years sober from alcohol. That changed everything, and then literally just
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you. But Kobe Bryant and Nick Saban are like studying their interviews and really listening to what they say
Right.
and like applying it to my own life, where it's like
Yeah.
Kobe shoots 500 shots a day or whatever, 1,000 shots a day. It was like, well, I need to write jokes every single day. If I'm not writing if I want to do this for my lifetime, because how do I say this? I feel like a lot of people are like, they get into something because they don't want to work. And they don't realize that it takes hard work to be successful at anything.
It takes even more work
Yeah.
to do something that everybody wants to do.
If you're not willing to develop a work ethic, you're not going to develop as an artist at all. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Like,
yeah. That's
So it's
Right
like
on.
I drive people a little crazy, and I push other people in the comedy scene sometimes a little too much. Like I'll call. It's not even my show. I have nothing to do with it. I'll call people like, "Where's that flyer, man? How come you haven't made that flyer yet?" I'm not even getting paid to do that, but it's just like I want everybody
yeah.
to get better. You know what I mean? Like, so I drive myself a little mad too, but It's
It sounds like you're the Kobe of the Mobile scene.
I don't like that, but you know, I don't.
It sounds like you become that guy now.
I don't want a title. I just want
Right.
everything to get better. That's what's important to me. Because at the end of the day, it's like I'm not worried about myself because I am like we told you got to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
It's like I'm crazy enough that it's like I'll take care of me, but it's like I want to make sure like newer people that don't know much about comedy yet are trying to figure it out. I just want to make sure they're getting like good, genuine advice and stuff that's going to set them on the right path instead of them, you know, messing around over here in areas that it's like you're not going to get anywhere even
Do you think it's
worrying about
because you've
that.
gone down those bad paths?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
I feel that with music sometimes too.
when I got into comedy, it was like I was very dedicated to it from day one, and I was 20, so yeah, I'm 31 now. I was 20 when I started, and it was very like I got on stage every second I could, every day
Really?
I could. Yeah, I would find music open mics. Like I would go to the Blues
Act
Tavern.
like you knew music and then just get up there and start
Well,
spitting.
I could play music, so sometimes I'd go up and join the open jams.
What
or
would you
whatever.
play?
Guitar.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
I
I should
mainly
have told
play
you to bring
guitar.
the guitar.
I know. You know what's funny? I stopped at home on the way here, and I should have grabbed it. I didn't even think about it. I was just in a hurry. So let me change my shirt. So I'll
Yeah.
still my work stuff.
Don't take this the wrong way, but doing like an Adam Sandler thing, you know, like the
Oh yeah. See, I don't. I've only written one humorous song in my
Right.
life. Everyone's like, "Why don't you do comedy?" I hate comedy music.
yeah.
And-
That's what I meant. It's just
Yeah, well-
he did it, but it's like
Yeah, some people are great at it, and there's
Right.
people like Stephen Lynch. I love him. He's on Dimitri Martin. Like I love
Right.
those guys. But I was talking to my dad about this actually because he was like, "Why don't you do something with comedy and music?" And I was like, "If I did that, I would want to take it to like a level no one's done it before, where it's like I incorporate like prog rock."
prog rock.
Oh, like King Crimson, like Frank Zappa, kind of
Like-
basically more like it's not just
What is prog though? Is that like,
like
Czechoslo-
progressive rock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically like it's almost like jazz meets rock and roll more than standard like 4/4 time and just
Right.
3 chords. It can kind of you get into diminished notes, and I
Okay.
want to make it weird where it's like, wow, no one's doing this. You know what I mean?
Right.
But still, I like those worlds separated. I like having my music over here and I do my comedy
Yeah.
over here. And
Humans are simple. I think like some concepts are one hit wonders because of
Yeah.
that. You know, like the Adam Sandler thing is like anybody after just gets affiliated with him because humans are just like, you know, simple oriented
yeah,
processors.
yeah.
Get ready to rave. If you're looking for an unforgettable night, remember the name Trist. Come enjoy the best rave experience in Mobile on August 1st. It's not just a party, it's a secret worth chasing. Follow the page at Trist Rave and get your tickets today.
For sure. Or we look for simplicity
Yeah,
because
too.
we live in such a crazy world, you know.
Right.
Like if I don't find one thing to focus on, I'll drive myself insane. So I'll just pace around and think all day. I'm
Right.
like, oh Lord, what am I doing with myself?
Have you found yourself making ill decisions because you can't be patient? Like I do that, and I've really tried to work on my patience, like understanding that everything has its time and place. Like I'll make like a bad order like on Amazon for stuff that I don't need because I
Oh,
want
yeah.
to feel like fulfillment for the day.
For sure. Yeah, I've done things like that too. Like impatience and anxiety, like, is why I still smoke cigarettes. It's like
Right.
eventually I would love to quit smoking cigarettes, but like the anxiety of waiting for a show or just being impatient, like when am I next? You know what I mean? I'll stand outside. I'll end up smoking like 4 cigarettes. I'm like, I'm just killing myself just because I can't chill for a second. You know what I
Sheesh,
mean?
man. Yeah.
So I understand that.
Yeah.
But where were we talking about? The Air Force show.
Sorry for cutting you off, bro.
No, I totally forgot. But yeah, so this Air Force
How
show.
many packs did you smoke before that one?
Oh man, probably a whole pack. I don't normally smoke during the day, but before something like that,
You're tapping
I'm
the
like-
lieutenant like, I know you got some.
yeah, I pretty much only smoke cigarettes at night if I'm doing comedy.
Right.
Like waiting outside of the place for me to get
Really?
on stage. Yeah, I don't smoke during the day. I rarely smoke at home. I might have a cigarette at home at night,
Yeah.
but like it's normally it's kind of just an anxiety filler
Gotcha.
for comedy for the most
Yeah.
part. But yeah, this damn Air Force Base show. I get on stage and I'm supposed to do my 30 minutes. I got 20 minutes in, And this is how we slipped off into this because I was talking about how like 75-25, crowd loves you, crowd hates
Right.
you. Patrice O'Neal is one of my biggest influences.
Patrice O'Neal.
He was on Opie and Anthony, a regular on that radio show.
Okay.
He has a special called Elephant in the Room.
Okay.
I was on Comedy Central. That's amazing. And so when I first started doing comedy, him and Norm Macdonald were like my two biggest influences.
Yeah.
And Patrice O'Neal said something that I'll never forget, like when I was like months into comedy, and he was like, comedy isn't great when everybody loves you. He was like, that's boring. He's like, comedy is at its best when half the room loves you and half the room hates your guts.
Do you think it's more psycho to be a people pleaser or to be like fine with people not liking you?
I think it's more psycho to be. You'll drive yourself crazy being a people pleaser because I used to be that way, especially before I stopped drinking. I was very much. I wanted everyone to like me.
Right.
I need everyone to like me, and it would. If I found like if someone told me it's like, yeah, that guy doesn't like you. I mean, it would drive.
And
me
you care more about that
mad.
one person than the other nine.
All the time, dude. I was like, why doesn't he like me? What is it like?
Right.
It would. And now, like, since I stopped drinking, I just gotten to the point that's like, I can't please everybody, and I'm not gonna stop doing things the way that I feel like they need to get done just because this person's like, I don't think he's funny. It's like, well, that sucks. That's gonna happen. You know what I mean? More people are gonna find me unfunny than people are gonna find me funny. You know? But all I need is like, you get 100,000 people that think you're funny. That's a career. You know?
I've got a question after you finish the Air Force.
Okay. So basically, if I'm on stage, I'm doing the 20 minutes. Half the room loves me. Half of them hate me.
Right.
And like I'm like looking at tables, and there's people that are like doing this. And then there's people that are like literally like fists on the table, like red in the face, crying, laughing. And I'm like, all right, this is weird. This is cool. I get
This is good.
Yeah, when that happens, I understand what Patrice is saying. It's like you're a little sweaty. You're like, you kind of double down on things because like I don't know. It's a fun feeling. It's like TV static is in the air. You can feel it. It's a little bit of chaos, but you're in control. You're having fun with it.
Dude, I appreciate
you
you for breaking down the psychology of that.
Yeah. It's like, it feels, it's an interesting feeling.
Yeah.
And so I'm in this good place, and then I did a joke about pornography, which I think is a great joke, and I cleaned it up.
Is it not allowed to be said right now or no?
I think it could be said right now. I think pornography is evil,
Right.
because it's all based on cheating, and I basically the punchline is like if I'm watching porn, I want to see like two wedding rings doing missionary on the kitchen floor with the neighbor's dog barking in the background. I want people to be together.
Traditional.
You know what I mean? Like, why is everybody cheating on each other in porn? That was the gist of the bit. So it's way longer than that. And the director of the whole thing was in the back of the room, and I was like looking at him as I was telling the joke, and he was literally like doing this at me, like no, like trying to cut me off. And I say this all the time now, but it's like it was a joke about pornography, so I had to finish. Like that's how it ends. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of it. And so, I still don't know what we can talk about on the show or not.
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. But so basically, I finished the joke anyway, and then the lady that kind of gave me the whole rundown or whatever, she stood up from her table and walked up to me and snatched the microphone out of my hand.
Power
And
move.
She went in the mic and she was like, "He's done. It's over. He's done."
And what'd you do?
I walked out of the room like the end of Breakfast Club. As I was walking through this sea of people sitting down, I like did one of these as I was walking, and people were like cheering. Some people were like screw this guy, and some people like loved it. All the younger people thought it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was the older people that were in charge that were like, no, like the younger soldiers were like, they loved it.
You earned your stripes that day.
Yeah, and like also it's like these 21-year-olds who are going and risking their lives for us. It's like I care about them more than y'all. To be honest, that's who I want to make laugh.
Right.
And so that whole thing, because apparently pornography is illegal to have on base. Apparently illegal to talk about. I don't know.
Interesting.
So yeah, I got shut down for that.
It wasn't one of the 100 words that she told you not to say.
Well, I didn't get that list.
Right.
Yeah, that was. She told me.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, I should have known better. But at the same time, I did
I
keep.
thought the
I kept it
supposed to be tough and
PG-13.
all.
Here's the problem: is American war movies.
Right.
So I know how these guys talk. And it's like,
Yeah.
apparently not. So yeah, that was brutal. But I still got paid. I was worried about that. I was like, oh, they're not going to pay me.
You completed the missionary.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I still got paid. The funniest part was after they had already paid me, I used the money to pay my power bill.
I
Right?
thought you were gonna say for like,
No.
bras and shit.
I used the money to pay my power bill, and then they tried to get in touch with me and said that they might have legal rights
No.
to take the money back, and I just never replied.
Good move.
It was a year. It's been a year. No one's asked me for the money.
Right.
It's like I always say, it's like that's between you and Alabama Power.
Yeah.
Let's find out who has more power because my hands are wiped clean of this.
Wait, sorry. How did Alabama Power? Oh, because you paid
Because
the
I
power
paid
bill.
the power bill.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
like, you
I'm
can
an
talk to
idiot.
them.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you any money.
All right, cool. That was a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot the question that I was going to
Oh,
ask,
dude.
but it's okay because I'm glad we fought through it. What is it like to be in a comedy scene, in a comedy club outside of the club?
So it's cool. I mean, they're all the same. I've noticed anywhere I travel, it's
Right.
like I can tell who the comedians are.
Really?
It's the people pacing around nervous or looking at a note or something in
Right,
their hand,
right.
or it's just you can just tell there's a vibe. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when I walk into the room, I'm like, that's where the comics are hanging out. You know?
Yeah.
And they're the same everywhere. It's just a bunch of degenerate, angry people who are. Everyone's got their own weird issue that made them want to be a comedian. But
Do you think that's the biggest inspiration for comedy?
no, but it's weird how like you talk to like a buddy of mine, Nick. He got out of rehab a year ago. Both
Right.
of his parents are dead, and it's
Yeah.
like that's your average comedy story
Right,
right,
right.
there. You know what I mean?
It comes in with
And so like I'm a child of divorce.
Right.
You know, my dad's been married 4 times now,
Gotcha.
and you know, so I don't know. I think there is something where like I feel like if you were raised in situations where you feel like you're like constantly seeking attention, then you
Right.
go towards a thing that
Sure.
demands attention. You
No,
know
that's
what I
definitely
mean?
the case. Yeah, I'm an only child and I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I had a sister, but she was my half sister growing up for the youngest part of my childhood. I ended up getting a stepsister like when I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like when I would stay with my
I
mom.
like how you say getting a stepsister.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
We ordered one. Yeah, like the interception or something.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, but I was gonna say something. I was like, I don't know if my family would appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I kind of cut it off right before I said.
Which you know is funny. That's in the porn joke. I make a reference to where that's all gone nowadays. If you go on the sites, and you're
Right.
like, why is this the new thing that's in? You know what I
Right.
mean? And then I say my stepsister's name in the joke. I'm like, she hates this joke. She's like, why are you using my name? She doesn't even know that I use her name in this joke. That's the funniest part to me.
Okay, good.
But yeah.
That's
I know.
crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm very open and honest about.
There's
my-
a difference between open and ruthless.
Yeah. I'm very open and honest about my past and stuff, and so
Right.
sometimes, or like my childhood and everything. So sometimes I realize, like, oh, my mom kind of caught a stray bullet on that one. I hope she doesn't ever see this joke.
I mean, like you just have no, like you just don't care.
Well, it's not coming from a place of hate. Like I love
Right.
my family. Or anybody that I make fun of, I
Right.
love them. You know what I mean? And I typically make fun of things that I love for the most part. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I know the most about it.
Sure.
You know
sure.
what I mean? And so like
But-
it's really easy to make fun of Alabama.
Right.
Because I've been here for so long that I see all of its faults as much as I love it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't come from a place of hate. So it's like I know where I'm coming from,
Right.
so I don't feel any kind of way about saying certain things.
Right.
But I know sometimes it's like if you're good at selling an idea, even if you're just
Right.
joking around, you could still hurt people. There's one joke I have in my act where I was like, my mom will never hear this joke because I really think she'd be like, ouch, you know? It's just a joke.
Right.
I'll tell it to you if you want to hear it.
Maybe after.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't want this podcast to get scrutinized. I have one comment that's just like, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
who is this? Miss Taylor. Do you think it's the most important skill as a comedian is being able to make fun of yourself?
I think it's definitely a huge part of it.
Right.
I'm very self-deprecating. A lot of most of my jokes, I would say, are about myself and my own life.
Yeah.
Just because I know more about myself
Right.
Or at least I try to learn more about myself.
Yeah.
And so, and also it's like sometimes pointing the finger at other things, you know what I mean? Like, especially if you don't have the skills yet to sell certain concepts and everything, it's very easy to offend and whatever. I don't worry too much about offending because I don't try to go out of my way to be that type of comedian, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I'll say anything about myself or tell any crazy. I've told some dark, deep secrets on stage in front of a room full of people, or even when I've gotten on stage, I'm in the car, I'm like, did I have to share that? I don't know if I should have shared that.
Even though it's like, oh, it's a comedy club. You say whatever you want and nobody judges you.
Yeah,
and then
no.
a week later, you can kind of peep like nobody's sitting with me at lunch.
Yeah, it's like it's like going to an AA meeting in a small town, admitting all the awful things you've done, and it's like, well, I do bump into these people at the grocery store, and now they know my first name.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Don't buy the cucumber. It's like, what?
Just walking around with an upside down pineapple in my,
Right.
in my cart.
It's like, Cheryl.
Yeah.
What happens in AA stays in AA. Like, we're at the grocery store. Be a little respectful.
Yeah, they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's non-alcoholic beer. They're like, no, that. I'm like, oh, the pineapple? Don't worry about that.
Right. You just never seen again at the AA meeting. Right. Yeah, I gave it up.
Or 4 of us are never seen again because we're up to no good as a group. I don't do that, by the way. I don't swing. Let's make that clear. These are all jokes. I would have no problem admitting it if I did, though.
Yes, that's good.
I don't know if that's good. I have a family. They're like, stop telling people everything.
Whoa. Don't let the dogs out. The City of Mobile Animal Shelter has many loving pets ready for a nice home. Whether you're looking for a dog like Snoop or a cat like Doja, the City of Mobile Animal Shelter is where you can find your next friendly companion. They're located at 855 Owen Street, and you can stop by anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We all need a little bow wow in our lives. Call 251-208-2800 because the City of Mobile Animal Shelter has you covered. That's 251-208-2800. Roof.
Euphoric. Let's change the subject. I can talk about your looks for days.
Take it off your mind. I could do this all the time. I could lay it on the line, and I could drop it on the dime. Let's go.
For 7 years, I've been shedding tattoo tears. Sideliners, urban game on the pup list. Yeah, blessing on all of my haters, that's just what it is. Yeah, to live.
What is like the most awkward moment that you've had on a stage?
The most awkward moment I've ever had on a stage. I got kicked off stage another time when I first started.
Right.
And I was 21. It was at a bar called the Industry Bar over there by the Whataburger and the Greyhound. It's no longer there. It used to be a Pizza Hut. You can tell by the shape of the building.
Okay.
But,
how tall are the ceilings at a Pizza Hut?
Tall enough. It was a cool room. That place was awesome. And we would go to the Industry Bar every Monday and do an open mic. And it was mainly music, but they would let us do comedy.
Right.
And I had just discovered Patrice O'Neal.
Right.
And I was kind of into Andrew Dice Clay at the time.
Yeah.
So I remember, this is so bad, I wore a leather jacket on stage. It's like, I'm the attitude guy now, which is no good. A 21-year-old who thinks he's going to be the attitude comic.
What do you mean attitude comic?
Like, I'm going to tell everybody how it is. Like, no 21-year-old needs to tell anybody how it is.
Is it more of a guru move?
No, it's just more like thinking I'm cool, but I'm being an asshole. That was definitely the vibe. I was just young and didn't know better. And also drinking, because we were talking about that earlier with comedy, where it's like you get into something. Like, I got into comedy to work hard and be a comedian. Right. And 3 years later, I woke up and I'm surrounded by beer bottles. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I think I'm partying.
Does this come with the comedy?
Yeah. Right? All of a sudden, I'm getting on stage once a week, but I'm drinking 7 nights a week. You know, it's like, that used to be reversed. Like,
right.
So yeah, you can slip into darkness real quick if you don't watch yourself, especially in the world of entertainment, because
Right.
it calls crazy people.
Yeah.
And crazy people who need some kind of love and affirmation from strangers.
Yeah.
Very easy to slip into drugs and alcohol when you're in that environment, or
sure.
you're that kind of person. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
Because
right.
you're gonna look for love anywhere that it's available.
Right.
Sometimes it's artificial and really bad for you. You know
Social
what I mean?
media is kind of a big thing nowadays for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
I've definitely found myself sometimes like thinking that I could solve a problem by like doing something right on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make the mistake. I'll like social media will control my life, and the fact that more now that I'm a content creator,
Right.
because I'll post a video, and boy, if not for 6 hours, I'm like have nothing to do, and I'm like, how many views does it have? And then also I'm reading the comments, I'm replying
dude,
back,
yeah.
and I'm like, my whole
torture.
life has. I've spent more time worrying about what this video is doing than it took to make the video. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I should just post it and let it exist and check it like every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Realistically, but it's like every 5 minutes I'm like, oh no,
Right.
another 7 views, and I feel like Gollum, like
Yeah. Let the bird fly.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, so I was at the industry bar. I'm on stage. I'm 21. I'm into attitude comedians. So now I'm gonna be Bill Burr. I think I'm gonna tell
Bill
people
Burr.
how it is.
Gotcha,
You know what I mean? That just that kind of
Right.
vibe. Which also like a lot of younger comedians make the mistake. You might be these might be your favorite comedians, Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neal, Andrew Dice Clay, people that kind of have that like fuck you energy.
Yeah. Yeah. What
But-
the fuck you doing?
Yeah, but also it's like if you watch their stand up when they were your age, it's changed drastically
Really?
because they got older and
They had to
mature,
develop the fadeaway.
and they had to learn how to sell these ideas
right.
and like get the room on their side to be like, man, I never thought of it that way. And so some people think like, oh, they're just born that way, and I'm gonna be that guy. And it's like that took years of training and failing before they
alcohol.
perfected that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll see some people just get on stage and just literally be a dick, and you're like, you. I think you're missing the whole point,
Right.
like of what this is supposed to be.
You know Dario?
Dude, how do you know him,
Spring Hill.
bro? That dude is hilarious. Me and him are cool. He just moved to Colorado for
Right.
He messages me all the time and like
That's
will
good.
comment on my videos. We've had some moments.
Well, that's what I was thinking of. Is like he kind of, I think, tried to impersonate that mean personality, but also that's just him.
Yeah, 100%. And here's the thing: he towards the end, before he moved, he had some jokes that were killing.
Yeah.
like he figured it. Like his angle started making more sense because at first it was
He got his confidence for sure.
yeah, but because I think when he first started, he'd get on stage and he'd be like, "What happened?" I'm like, I think they think you're a mean person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying you are, but that's like to these
Right.
people who have no idea who you are and the 5 minutes of stuff you just said, they're kind of like, you know what I mean?
As
Like,
he's watching this right now, whenever this airs, he's probably like, "Yeah, Carson doesn't know what the fuck he's talking
yeah,
about."
that's fine. That's fine. I still love him. He's cool. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
He's and also
when
once
you
again,
actually get to know somebody like that, you know.
and also it's like for we're very different people. We disagree on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of the last times I saw him, I think we got into like a small little argument. But that's just how
A
it is.
going away argument.
Well, that's how it is with comedy too. Like comedy, we're all a bunch of weirdos, and so like to have a peaceful comedy scene is almost impossible. People get so petty and in their feelings about stuff. Like I'll do it too sometimes. Somebody will make a sideways comment, all of a sudden I'm like, what was that? Like, it doesn't, he's just joking. It doesn't matter. But I'm like, why am I like nothing will offend you more than if someone points out that you bombed. I have
Really?
seen. Oh man, if someone
Really?
says like, "Man, you ate it up there," you'll see them get people like, "No, I didn't." I just like, start to try to defend themselves, and you're like, "Whoa, calm down, buddy."
Why do you think that is? Like, of all the things to be ribbed on.
Because it's such a vulnerable thing to put yourself up there
Right.
in the first place, and then
Right,
when you
right.
to already fail and know you failed hurts.
Mm.
But then when someone comes up to you and just slaps the sunburn on your back, you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't have to do that. I was aware of what just happened." You know what I mean?
Right.
But Yeah, so at this at the industry bar, what happened was I was trying out some brand new material,
Right.
which was very attitude, dark, twisted, 21-year-old opinions.
I just love how we keep like somehow recycling like the questions
oh
and
yeah, yeah,
stories.
yeah. We'll get back to it.
It's great. It's great.
If I was drinking, we'd be talking.
We'd be in
about,
Mexico.
Yeah, we would not be on any. I would finish half answers on everything, but no. So tried out this joke, and I don't even remember what the joke was, but it did not go good. And a woman in the audience, who I'm actually friends with now, we bring this up to each other all the time. She yelled out at me and heckled me and tried to say that like what I was saying was wrong or whatever. And then we kind of had a back and forth. And because I was so new at comedy, I didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And I guess I started getting embarrassed, kind of like I just got hot in the face and red. You know what I mean? A lot of nerves are having, my heart's racing.
Yeah.
I feel like she's kind of making me look like a fool a little bit. And now I know it's like, well, just be funny. You know what I mean? There's a way out of that always. But I just lost my mind and started just cussing her out and yelling at her, which was not cool.
And it wasn't even, you couldn't even act like it was part of the joke.
Oh, it was bad, dude. I've never done this. It was such a life lesson. I'm like, you have got to handle your emotions up there. Like, it was awful. And so I just started cussing her, and the owner of the bar got on a wireless mic behind the stage and kicked me off the stage.
Yeah.
And I walked out of the room and I smoked like 10 cigarettes. I was so mad. I was like pacing back and forth outside in the parking lot. And then I went back in because I was like realizing like you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Even if she shouldn't have been heckling you, there's people are human beings. You know what I mean? Like you can't just scream at people.
Right.
And so I went inside and apologized to her, and then she apologized to me. She's like, I shouldn't have been talking during your set. And like that was and we've been cool ever since. And every time I see her now, we'll bring up that story. I remember that time. I was like, yeah, I remember that time.
Yeah.
I get it. It's one of those things like you ever get like embarrassed years later.
Oh, dude.
I could be laying in bed. It could be 3 a.m. I could be looking at the ceiling and like a chill will go
It's
down my
like,
spine when I think
I'll
about
just
like,
shout out, shit sucks.
oh dude, I would like think like a room of people saw me act like a 4-year-old child.
Right,
Like,
right,
that's
right.
embarrassing.
Oh yeah, trust me, yeah.
was
I'm just
awful.
looking forward to embarrassing myself more.
Yeah, you know it is. You know, you learn something new every day.
What makes a good comedy club besides low ceilings?
A good comedy club, from the ones that I've been lucky enough to perform into or hang out at. So yeah, obviously the low ceilings, tables that are close to the stage, you know, good lighting on the stage, you know, a dim room for the audience, those kind of things. After that, it's really just everything's just staff. You know how much everything trickles down from the top. So if the owner's on their game, if the owner cares, then you know.
You think it's easier if the audience is inebriated?
I think the 2-drink minimum thing
2-drink minimum
is just a good rule of
I didn't
thumb.
know that was the thing.
Well, at a lot of comedy clubs, they'll be like, it's like a rule where it's like sometimes even if you're a performer, like if it's like an open mic night at the comedy clubs, like even if you're a performer, it's a 2-drink minimum to be able to get, or you have to bring in 5 people in order to get stage time and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of that's like in bigger cities. You know, a lot of the clubs that are popping up on the Gulf Coast are in these smaller comedy communities. So it's more just like everybody come in and help. You know what I mean? Like, let's make this place awesome so we can keep it. You know? But wait, what was the question again?
Well, I was asking about what makes a good comedy club, but also if it's important to have the audience inebriated.
Oh yeah, the
or not
inebriated
important
part.
if it's
So,
easier or tougher.
It is a drunk audience can be a nightmare. There's a level a tipsy audience is fun. I had a couple of drinks that are loose. So like, because you know sometimes you can take someone who's very religious and they don't like any jokes about religion at all. And that person sober might get highly offended at your dumb little joke. You might have a dumb little joke about the Bible.
Right.
Not even meant to offend. It's just like, have you ever noticed kind of thing. But you get 3 drinks in that person, and all of a sudden they're like, that was good. You know what I mean? It loosens people up a little bit. It gets them out of the way.
They've got a New
like,
Testament.
yeah, like don't take you. It makes you realize like maybe I shouldn't take everything so seriously. Even though I believe in this, we're all here to have fun.
Right.
I think sometimes it gets forgotten. Like we are all here to have fun. And I've never met a real comedian, and I mean like someone who's like doing it as a career. Yeah. In my 11 years of doing comedy, I've never met someone who's a comedian as their career who has ever before shown me like, man, I hope I really upset these people tonight. Like it's none of our mindset.
I don't know, man. I have been to a couple of comedy shows, and they've been funny. But sometimes it's like there's like one of those acts. It'll just kind of make you scratch your head. Like, is he only here because he knows he only likes the jokes? You know, did you ever see that?
Is this like open mic level, or are you talking?
Yeah, like I've been to some open mics in Mobile or just around the area. And, it's you know, people kind of chip in their laughs for like one act where it's like it's just the guy just seems to be too far out in left field. Maybe like, do you ever notice that?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, open mics are a whole.
So there's an open mic versus like
There's like a book show.
book show. Okay,
So, like,
gotcha. I haven't been to any book shows.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, a book show is way different because normally a book show, they're only going to book experienced people. Like, when I first started doing comedy, if someone asked me, like, oh, yeah, I want to get you on a show, how long you been doing comedy? And I was like, 6 months, it was like an instant no.
Really?
It's like, at least, back in the day, it was like people wanted you to at least be doing comedy for
Right.
like 3 years
Right.
before they booked you for something. And then, so it is like a lot of times I'll see people get upset, like they've been doing comedy for a year. They're like, well, how come I'm not getting booked? I'm like, because there's nothing harder than getting good. I think more than any other art form, getting good at stand-up comedy is the hardest.
I was going to ask you about that too.
Because I play guitar, right?
Yeah.
I can practice guitar at home 8 hours a day and know that I'm getting better.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can record myself at the beginning of that day practicing a scale, record it at the end, and see the difference.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm alone in my bedroom and I say a joke to the camera and say a joke to the stage, how do I know? Because the audience is the ones that tell you if the
Yeah.
joke is good or not. You have to have an audience.
I think comedy is kind of like the boxing of art.
Yeah.
Like boxing, it's like you can shadow box. It's like I'm training right now, and like I'll practice shadow boxing, and then I'll get in the ring, and it's like it's a whole different thing. It's like your form might have gotten better, but your reactions is something that you have to develop based on what you're looking at. And if the only way to develop your reactions is by boxing against somebody else,
Yeah.
and the only way to develop those is by getting hit in the head.
Yeah.
You know, in comedy, it's like metaphorically, you get hit in the head if the joke doesn't hit.
That's a great analogy, like 100%. Like a failed joke is a haymaker. It hurts. Like, it really hurts your soul.
Yeah.
And then also say with like getting knocked out in front of people, that's like bombing in front of people, equally embarrassing.
Right.
At least you might get knocked out enough that you wake up and you go, "What happened?" In comedy, you know what happened.
what
That
happened.
was awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, like open mic is basically it's a preschool class, dude. We're all just a bunch of just
Gotcha.
wild children, and all of us,
Right.
including me. Like,
It somehow turns into a pity party.
yeah, and it's like, and everybody, most people there don't know how to do comedy yet, and they're
Yeah.
gonna learn, and they have what
I guess that's what I was getting at. It's like I thought I was at a comedy show, but now that you're putting it into
yeah,
it's
like
a
a lot of
tryout.
people end up saying they hear open mic comedy, but they just hear comedy, and they're
Right.
like, "Oh, like Netflix," and it's like, no,
Yeah.
no, not at all. This is
Right.
more like behind the alley.
Seriously.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like hobos singing a song over the fire, you know what I mean, in Rocky.
Right.
So yeah, you have to go to open mics to practice and try to get good, you know?
Right.
And then it's almost like lifting weights at home before you go to a gym. Like, I still lift weights at home
Before,
because I'm not going to a gym and embarrassing myself. I don't
Yeah.
want, because also I don't know what's up with, like, high school dudes are like huge now. So it's like, I can't be 31 in the gym
Right.
and this 14-year-old's bench pressing like 275 and here I am with the teal colored weights. Like,
Right.
ugh, like I'm not doing that.
right.
But like,
You're just like, no, I'm the custodian. No.
yeah,
Right. I'll help you with your weight, and then that becomes the workout.
exactly. Yeah, I'm like, man, I'm getting
Let me
stronger by
spot you.
helping this guy.
Yeah, I spotted Ryan 10 times today.
Yeah, right. And he picked me up 12 times. So
Right.
he's helping him with triceps.
Right.
I wore 2 belts, so he could get really good.
Mutually beneficial workout.
Right. But yeah, open mics are just like anybody can sign up. I mean,
Right.
I've been to open mics where like a homeless man has walked off the street and signed up on the list and went on stage, and like just did what he does. You know what I mean? Like, you
Right.
know, might have been more than one person up there in his mind. You know, I don't know. But so, And then a book show is, you're somewhat a professional,
Right.
or people are acknowledging that you're leaning towards that. You're getting close, and so it's like
That's good. Yeah.
then because like open mics, you only get 5 minutes. In bigger cities, like we went to Austin, Texas, me and two of my buddies,
Right.
and we did a couple open mics while we were there, and like you only get 3 minutes there, and there will be like 50 people on the list.
Yeah. That's
So you're number 46. You've been there for 3 hours. You get on stage, you turn around, there's 6 people left in the room, and you get 3 minutes. You try to make 6 people laugh at 1 a.m.
right.
It's tough.
Right.
It's tough. Comedy's also one of those things where like it's kind of a battle of longevity. Like who's gonna quit? You know what I mean? Because there'll be more work for the rest of us when they quit. Because when I started doing comedy 11 years ago to now, across the whole Gulf Coast, I'm talking basically Lafayette, Louisiana to Tallahassee,
Yeah.
there was like, let's say 11 years ago, here was 100 comedians that were all doing it then.
Yeah.
There's 20 of us.
But there's still 100 comedians.
Yeah, there's new blood.
Right.
But the original that I started with 11
Yeah.
years ago in Mobile, there's like 3 of us.
I love that.
Every scene probably has 3 people that have stuck around for the 11 years.
Who's going to quit applies to a lot of things. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely in comedy, you see it, I guess. But
It's
like,
easy to get discouraged if you don't have your head right.
in any field, though.
Yeah.
In any, yeah. Who's going to quit? Especially in a field that is less traditional.
Yeah.
Music, comedy, sports.
Yeah.
You know, also the fields that take like a lot of studying, obviously. But
The advantage that those things have though over comedy that I always enjoy about that, like even making music in the studio, is a team of people. Where it's like in comedy, it's like when I go on the road, like I'm alone in my car, I'm alone in a hotel room.
Right.
When things go bad, it's like I'm just alone and having to deal with it. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
just like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, then you should listen back to the set to fix what was
yeah.
wrong. But it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to bomb and then go back to the hotel room and listen to myself bomb right now. I think I'm gonna go get some food, find something to watch for a second, and then we'll get to
right.
reliving how awful this night's been. you
Right,
know?
right.
But like if in the studio, you're trying to record a verse and it's a little tricky because you're trying to speed up this one part and then you're slowing down these lines and you can't get it right. At least on the other side of the glass, there's 5 or 6 people like, look, like you got this, man. You know what I mean? Or, like helping you out, or like come here for a second, chill, like
Right.
breathe. And comedy is
I
just
don't
like,
know. Yeah, making music in that studio environment is like that shit's a piece of cake, man. Like especially if you're a rapper, like
yeah,
like people overemphasize out, but that's also why there's so many rappers.
yeah,
And then there's also other musicians like music. The process of creating music. I had somebody on yesterday that was just like, you either got it or you don't. It's like you can learn as much as you want with music theory and all that, but the actual process of like making it, as long as you can get yourself to a poised state where like you know how to kind of get in that zone and play the guitar right and execute the song on this 57th take. Once you get that 57th take, it's forever, and then you can, in rapping, you can play it with the background vocals and just dance. And, with the guitar, you have to play it live, but nobody's expecting you to play it to that level,
Yeah.
Comedy, you have to play it perfectly in front of these people each time, or else, it's my first time seeing them. Never seen them again.
Oh man, like there's actually a few people that I know that like I know they think I suck at comedy.
Because they've only seen you
The
once.
only 2 times they've come out to see me were both times that I bombed awfully, and it's like that's the receipt they have of me.
Right.
Like that's literally that's all.
And
like,
that's something
and
that
it's like,
Kobe
God,
says too, is like, have you seen it where Kobe's like, I'm playing as hard as I can every game because there might be somebody that's never seen me play before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. Like Kobe's the man, dude. He's the dude. Mamba mentality, because it's like Jordan, gifted, amazing, all this stuff, but it's like, and he worked hard. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say that about him, but it's like I feel like Kobe. It's the psychopathic work ethic to get to where he got. Or it's like if he slowed down for a second, he wouldn't have that 5th championship. You know?
Yeah,
what
I
I mean?
also
It's
think
like-
Kobe wasn't as athletic. Like
Yeah,
he
that's-
obviously he jumped out the gym and all that, but just by watching how he moved, he was like very fundamental, and you could see that was from like repetition. Just like he didn't have kind of the slitheriness of like AI. Or even like Michael Jordan was just kind of like smooth.
Jordan
around
is
people.
a swan. He's like a ballerina. It's like I'll go back and watch Jordan highlights and like just the little things he'll do with the palm and the ball and moving
Right.
it this way. And then
Right.
like every
He's-
motion, you're like, dude, he's like a dancer.
But
Like,
Kobe was like he to the decimal hit every spot on the court perfectly.
yeah,
But it was like rugged, you know.
yeah.
At least that's the way I was saying it.
No. I agree with you 100%. And that's why I feel like because like physically, I think Jordan had a little bit of an advantage over Kobe. I
Right.
like the fact that Kobe was like, well, I got to close this gap. And the only way to do it is by working harder than
Practicing a
everybody
jab
else.
step for an hour.
Yeah.
And it hits the same spot, you know.
Yeah, where it's like, it's the person, say you have someone with natural talent, but they're lazy, and you have someone who doesn't have natural talent, but they work hard. I will put my money on this person every time
Right.
to outrace this person because
I've still got Jordan over Kobe, but
yeah.
that's
I
what
mean,
you're saying.
Jordan's still. I got him number one. Also, Jordan, Kobe's number two to me.
Right.
But like, I'll put my money on this guy because when the times get hard,
Right.
this guy's gonna have the mindset to
Yeah.
get through the hard times, and this guy's gonna be like, I don't feel like doing that today.
Is there a notorious comedian like in that Kobe comparison that you could say like, you know, maybe I'm just throwing names like, or I think Kevin Hart. I've heard he works really hard.
He's it's funny. It's like I'm not like the biggest Kevin Hart fan in the world.
Yeah, nor
but
am I.
I feel like Patrice O'Neal to me,
Right.
is like I'll put him in the top 10 funniest comedians of all time. A lot of comedians. He's like a comic. Like comedians love Patrice and put him up there more than the public does.
Right.
But Patrice was lazy.
Right.
And so you only have one Patrice special and I think a half-hour special where Kevin Hart, in my opinion, not as naturally gifted as Patrice O'Neal, but his work ethic, there's
crazy.
20 movies, there's 8 specials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Patrice would have worked half as hard as Kevin Hart, I mean, people would be like, it's got to be Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, Patrice O'Neal. It like, wouldn't even question it. Those would be the
Do you
three
think
names,
that's like
you know?
the Richard Pryor and Dave Chappelle are like?
I think Dave Chappelle's the closest to the skill of a Pryor.
You
for
think
our
Pryor's the
generation.
funniest?
I think Pryor's number one all time. He's my
I gotta tap in
Jordan.
more.
Yeah, Richard Pryor's my Jordan. Just because like he had it all. Like he had great jokes. He was physically funny.
Right.
He moved funny. Everything about him was funny. But his honesty was ahead of its. Like I still honestly believe this to this day that like comedians on a level of vulnerability and honesty, we're still trying to catch up to Richard Pryor. Just some of the things he admitted on stage at the time, like going to jail for shooting at his wife and making that funny.
That's crazy.
You hear that, you're
That's
like, that's
crazy.
awful. He made that funny, and it kills. Like women and men in the audience are laughing. He's a gifted man. He had a very dark, sad life. His mom was a prostitute.
Right.
His dad was a pimp. His grandparents owned a brothel. That
He's
they
got
all
what it
lived at.
takes.
I mean, his whole life was just dark
He's
and
got the
miserable
perfect
and
setup.
twisted.
Yeah.
But he
Got the perfect
made
build.
yeah, he made beautiful comedy out of it, and it was very dark and vulnerable,
Right.
and like I don't know, I just like a lot of Dave Chappelle's material to me is more him kind of pointing the finger at the world and less at himself, and he'll have some moments of vulnerability, but the way Pryor would like as the audience, you feel like his therapist sometimes, like, God damn, we're working through this together, and he's just murdering, just killing, like,
All right, cool. I'm gonna check him out.
yeah, he's number one to me.
Yeah.
But and like I don't know if we're gonna talk about the best comedians, like if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, what are some comedians I should check out right now? You know what I
Right.
mean? That maybe aren't like nationally huge. I would say Jordan Jensen.
Jordan Jensen.
She's amazing. She's in New York City. Love her. Dan Alton, who is a friend of mine. He's in Louisville, Kentucky. He's been a full-time comedian for 7 years. Yeah. You don't even know his name. He travels the country and only does stand-up now as his career. He is the funniest person on the planet, dude. Like I just had him on we just had him on our podcast.
Nice.
Midtown Malfunction.
Yeah.
Listen on YouTube.
Midtown
It's
Malfunction.
me and Ryan D. Adams. He's my roommate and also a hilarious comedian. We had Dan Alton on our podcast, who's been a friend of ours for like 8 years. But it's like every time I see him perform, I learn something new about performing. Or I'm just like, man, or it's like he always sets the bar. It's like, I got to get to that point.
I like how just society has that where like if you want to get into something, there's like the mainstream advice for it.
Yeah.
That like is like beginner level stuff. Again with boxing, there's like Tony Jeffries is the name on YouTube, or Skiller Boxing is a great channel. But then it's like once you go into the nooks and cracks of like one channel, the rabbit hole of it. I've like recently stumbled upon this Russian channel that's not even in English, and it's this guy teaching some really cool stuff. And in the comments, there's English comments where like, this is like groundbreaking stuff that nobody knows about, you know.
Yeah.
Or like a rapper that hasn't surfaced yet. That's just like, you know, you're like, man, you know, I wonder why the mainstream isn't picking it up. But it's just cool to see. Sorry, another analogy is like Madden, playing Madden.
Yeah.
The mainstream like YouTubers that are like most famous for their streaming content run like curls and run the ball every play and are just like funny people. But then like if you're actually like I remember in high school I was really serious about playing Madden, and like I found like the YouTubers that ran the glitch plays. You know, and but had like no real following, and I watched them learn the glitch plays and came back to my friends and they're just, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just cool how that is set up where like the best aren't mainstream, and then when you find the best, it's like it shows that you're passionate about something, you know. It's a new milestone.
For sure. And I think like the more you kind of get into art as an artist, you kind of more of your favorite stuff becomes less mainstream.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and like one thing that I've learned too, there's a comedian, Joe List, that I love. He's like the huge reason why I got sober. That's another comedian. If you don't know Joe List,
right,
incredible. But he made a point where he was like, you know, when you first start doing comedy, or I think it's kind of the same with any form of entertainment, but like when you say who your favorites are, it's all like these big names that you look up to. And then the longer you do it, it's like, because when I first started doing comedy and someone was like, who's your favorite comedian? I'd be like, oh, Louis C.K. or Norm Macdonald or Patrice O'Neill.
Right.
And now it's Dan Alton, who's a friend of mine. It's like, it starts becoming people you know the longer you stay in the industry.
For
you know
sure,
what I mean?
for sure.
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like another analogy, like, because I really am enthusiastic about that concept, and I'm glad that you brought it up. Like in the NBA, like you can tell a lot about somebody based on who their favorite player is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's LeBron James, all right, yeah, you must have just started watching the NBA.
Right.
But if it's, you know, Luol Deng for some reason,
Yeah.
I really like the way Luol Deng plays defense. You know, so.
I loved him as
really?
I was a big Duke fan.
Wow. Okay, cool.
And so like JJ Redick when I was a little kid. I got onto Duke when he was a freshman.
Right.
And like I was just like, he was like the first Steph Curry. Like people forget that dude was shooting from like half court.
Right.
Like with 13 minutes left in the game, just sinking them like crazy. In college, not in the pros, nowhere close to Steph Curry. People are like, is he comparing JJ Redick to Steph Curry? No. I'm saying there was a time in college he could shoot like that.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I like watching those college highlight reels.
My favorite old school random like sixth man player to say, because I think it's always like in comedy, I've noticed when I was a kid, Knocked Up and Superbad, those movies taught me that random names you don't actually know all the way are hilarious for some reason. It's like anytime I'm shooting trash into a trash can movie, I always like to
steal that. I will steal that.
I always like to say, remember Wally Zerbiak?
No, I don't.
He played for the Timberwolves with Kevin Garnett in like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was Sam Cassell, Wally Zerbiak, and Kevin Garnett. I love shooting into a trash can in public and going, Zerbiak.
That's great, man.
It's just a funny name to me. I just love that.
No, that's great. That's great. I'm stealing that.
Yeah, because I remember when there's a part of Knocked Up that always made me laugh as a kid. And it was when he's running on a treadmill next to Katherine Heigl or whatever, and he like looks at this guy next to him. He's like, "Jesus, man, slow down! I'm over here sweating like Dom DeLuise."
Right.
And I didn't know who Dom DeLuise was. He's a comedic actor from the 70s and 80s. I didn't know that. Just the name Dom DeLuise, and I knew he must be a fatter, sweaty guy. You know, bigger, sweaty dude. I'm like. It just made me laugh. And then I kind of like, as I got older in comedy, I was like, another great, like, you don't have to know the name to laugh is in Superbad. Whenever he's like, what, are you going to make me sit here and eat alone like I'm Steven Glansberg? Just because of the dude just eating yogurt alone. Like, it doesn't need to be a famous name. Steven Glansberg is just, it's comedy gold. It's hilarious for some reason.
Absolutely. Are there any other, like, nuanced artistic things that you've garnered over your years that is like that? Where, like, coming up with random names?
Weird little tricks that I learned along the way and stuff. I mean, there's kind of, I feel like comedy's like there's a big debate even with comedians. Like, is it an art form or is it a craft?
What's the difference?
Well, because it's almost like a magic show for real, where it's like I'm just like revealing certain things and hiding certain things with words. You know what I mean? And it's like I think your personality and the subjects you decide to talk about, how honest or vulnerable or dark, kind of will make it more of a art form.
Right.
But the actual just formulating jokes is very crafty, almost like doing magic. It's like I've learned a trick. This works no matter you fill in the blank with random words. This always works. Like I do a bit when I first started. I used to have a joke about the flea market, and I used to say like have you ever noticed when you look around the flea market that all the men there look like Greg Allman? And then you look around more and you realize that all the women there look like Greg Allman. And it's just repeating the day thing. Like I learned that as a comedy trick early on. I was like, oh, well, that works if I just repeat it for men and then repeat it for women, because then the comparison,
Right.
and then I'm like, it's just a bunch of beards and armpit hair.
And I see how now it's a magician.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? It's like,
it's got
that's just a comedy trick that works. Insert whatever scenario or names, kinda.
Right. Because I think I've heard before that laughter is really just a surprised reaction. It's
Yeah.
like something that you didn't anticipate makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Norm Macdonald says that when he did Weekend Update on SNL, that he said the best jokes he thought were when the setup and the punchline repeat themselves.
Really?
Where like what a yippee is. So it's like instead of hippies, there's like the yippies. It was like a political thing at the time. He took a stance and stuff. You're considered a yippie. And there was a guy named like Charles Rubin, or I can't remember his name, but he had just died. And so the joke is yippee, Charles Rubin died, because he was a yippie or whatever. But he reads, he goes, yippee, Charlie Rubin died today. Oh, I'm sorry, that was supposed to read yippee, Charlie Rubin died today. It's just the setup and the punchline repeat each other. It's the same exact words. It's just the tone of voice switch.
Gotcha.
And that works for some reason. It was like, that's hard to do. To write a joke like that is like, he's a master, or was a master when he's alive.
Matt, what is the writing process like? How do you come up with something and then rehearse it and feel confident about it? Like, just take me through that, please.
So when I sit down to write a joke, normally it's like I have like a bunch of thoughts here. I'll take a server pad from work, and throughout the day when I think of a dumb thought, I write it down.
Right.
Now, typically what I write down is just the thought of like, okay, let's see if I can read one that's somewhat a good example. Okay, like this is dumb. I would never do this on stage. This is a dumb thought I had. It was like H.P. Lovecraft sounds like a thing and not a person. Like, check out my new H.P. Lovecraft.
What is an H.P. Lovecraft?
He's a writer. Yeah. But to me, that sounds like a future car.
Sounds like a printer.
Yeah, like exactly. And so like that was, I'll be at work. Say I'm at work and I'm in the middle of doing something, and that thought pops in my head.
Yeah.
That thought isn't funny. H.P. Lovecraft sounds more like a thing than a person. But I know there's something funny about that.
Right.
So what I do is I have that thought. Then when I go home, I sit down, I pull out a blank piece of paper, I look at the thought, and then it's just a process of like coming up with any kind of angle. Like, how would I pull up on a date with a H.P. What does an H.P. Lovecraft look like? What can it do? Like, and then you start developing all these little scenarios and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a joke about.
Yes, continue.
Oh, I have a joke about wearing briefs that
Yes.
took me like a year to write that.
Really?
Yeah, and people hear that.
No, but I know what you mean.
Comedians are the worst at sounding like they're these like hard workers that sitting there ripping papers out. It's like, it's not what people think. When someone says it takes them a year to write a joke, they imagine like you're sitting at home like
Right.
Ernest Hemingway.
What is the
And,
punchline?
like, yeah, exactly. Like you're the dad from Rugrats, always inventing something in the garage.
I've got it.
Yeah, it's normally like I have the brief joke started with I think it just said something dumb like the whole point was that I briefs. Women like a man in briefs because it looks sexy, but I look like a child in briefs.
Yeah.
That was like basically the joke.
I saw that one. I laughed at it.
And then from that, I was like, well, what's a bunch of different little analogies? What do briefs look like on me?
Right.
And then I was like, started thinking and
The
coming
bird one
up.
killed me.
Yeah. It looks like a sick bird trapped in a trampoline net.
Yeah.
Or even when when you're hard, it looks like the mask of a fencing instructor.
Right.
You know, because it like protrudes the
Yeah.
little. And so I just like those things started coming together, and I started writing the joke, and then it took a year of like going on stage each time with what I had.
Yeah.
Hearing how the audience reacted. Okay, they didn't like this part. I'm gonna scratch that, and then sitting at home and being like, "Well, what else does it look like? Well, it looks like this." Tomorrow night, I'm gonna try out that part. Oh, that got a laugh. Well, I'm gonna keep that. Right. And then slowly over a year, I got it to this 2-minute long.
Right.
It's like nice and has a little bow wrapped around it. You know.
For sure. No, and have you noticed how your process has become more efficient over time?
Yes.
I think it's just so beautiful to like appreciate that.
It's become more efficient just because I understand who I am now. Like I found my voice, which
Gotcha.
takes forever as a comedian.
Really?
Like I know some people that like found their voice 3 years in. I know some people that found it 5 years in. I know some people who are been doing it as long as me that are still like they're funny. They're getting great laughs and stuff, but it's like when they're trying to build a 30-minute long set, it feels like a bunch of different chapters in a book that don't from different books all shoved together.
Gotcha.
And so when I found my voice, I was like 6 or 7 years into comedy, and I was doing a show at the Music Box.
Yeah.
And I did like a 20-minute set. And I remember the moment I got off stage, I went to my friend Zeke Buchholz, who runs Comedy Mobile. Follow that on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, my buddy Zeke, I went off stage, I went right up to him, and I was like, I just figured it out.
Dude. Yeah.
Like it all made sense.
That happens
all
in
of a
music for
sudden.
sure.
Like what I like to talk about, how I talk, what I look like, who I am, it all just came together in my head. And so still to this day, I think every comedian goes through this no matter how long you've been doing it. If you write 10 new jokes, 8 of them are awful. 8 of them are going to bomb and 2 of them will get a laugh. And you run with those 2 and you develop them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you do that every single day. So it's like I write 10 today, only 2 work. I write 10 tomorrow, only 2 work. And I'm taking those 2 at a time and, developing them. But
how would you describe your style that you've epiphanized over?
Self-deprecating storytelling mixed with one-liners sprinkled in and out. It's a lot. A lot of my comedy is like.
But like, what's like a term that when you're like, I found it, it is.
I guess a mix of those 3 different things. Like
Gotcha. You can't describe it.
Yeah, I just it's. Basically my comedy is like a majority is making fun of myself, being honest about my personal life. Like I have 2 kids with 2 different women. Both my sons are autistic.
Wow.
Like I just like there's a million jokes right there. You know what I mean? But like so it just comes from
You're an interesting person.
Yeah, it just comes from admitting people. And then also a lot of the times I'll get off stage and I'll meet other parents that have autistic kids. Like, oh my God, I love that you talk about that. Or you made a joke. Or like my son bites people all the time too. Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So it's sometimes like you go up there and you'll be vulnerable and you'll be kind of scared of it. But when something really works out or you really do take a chance, you'll be shocked at how many people in the audience could relate to that. Right. And it made them feel better that it's like, oh man, somebody like I go through that. You know what I mean?
The world needs comedians.
Yeah, I do. I think so.
Right.
I don't think we need as many as we have. No, the world needs comedians for sure.
For sure. I mean, with anything, there's a spectrum. You know, it's like the whole reason that Hitler existed was because Jesus existed. You know, it's like it's like you got the good comedians because of bad and bad because of the good. You know, so.
Yeah, and also it's like too much of one thing is bad.
Right.
Even if it's too much good, you're living in a fake la la land of just like.
Right.
I think a lot of art, especially in comedy, comes from a bad day. You know what I mean? Or like taking something that necessarily wasn't funny on the surface, but finding some kind of joy out of it.
Right.
That also makes you relax and not take certain things so seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To find the humor in something that other people might look at as serious, and you're like, well, actually, and you can pull out this little something out of it. You know
Absolutely. Yeah, but people wouldn't I guess, point out, like there are certain elements of society that maybe people would be too scared to point out because they don't know that everybody else relates to it.
Yeah.
And without comedians, it would just always be a dead subject.
Yeah.
But comedians bring it to life.
That's true. Right now is a weird time. Certain things you talk about, especially down here in Alabama,
Right.
people are ready to defend
Yeah.
what they believe in. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we're all just joking, by the way. Like we're just having fun
Right.
for the most part. But a lot of times, like people will hide behind. Me and my roommate talk about this all the time. We actually talked about this today about how like people are like, "Oh man, I wasn't being serious. It's just a joke." But jokes do. The thought of you trying to make fun of this came out of some grain of truth that you do feel a little bit
Right.
this way. It's not this whole like I made all this up. I don't believe any of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's ingrained in some kind of truth.
That's why it's a tricky game, huh?
Yeah, it can be tricky.
Yeah.
It can.
Have you ever had like a killer joke, but it's like, you know that people will kind of see through it to like, damn, he might have a bad intention because he said that joke.
I don't. Maybe in my younger days, I probably did. I had
Right.
some wild material where it's like, you, if here's the 10 things you say you can't talk about or say, it's like that's all I'm gonna try to write jokes about, and then you get to the point that's like, I think I'm
I think I'm just an imbecile.
yeah, I'm just hitting my head against a wall when the doorway's right there. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, so I had to like a lot of that's
youngins
just
do.
yeah. Drugs and alcohol and immaturity combined, you hand that person a microphone and just watch what happens. You're like, oh Lord, this is gonna be a nightmare. So there's a lot of figuring it out in the beginning. So I had a lot of jokes like that one. I can't even remember what it was, but that joke that pissed off that woman, and then we got into it, and
Yeah.
I yelled at her and got kicked off stage. Like that was, I have all my jokes I've ever written are at home, like in a drawer and stuff. I have it all. I would be able to find it, but
Seinfeld.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's another dude that I love. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Seinfeld to me is the Nick Saban or Kobe Bryant of comedy.
Really?
His work ethic is just he is who he is because people like to make fun of Seinfeld all the time or shit on him or be like, oh, he's not that funny. Oh, he's just this. Oh, he's just that. He's like, he is Phil Jackson. Like,
I agree. Tenfold. That's my favorite show.
yeah,
Seinfeld.
and I've learned so much from listening to like his interviews. He did a podcast with this guy named Tim Ferriss, I think is his name.
Oh, I know Tim Ferriss.
Yeah, and the whole podcast was about the background work to comedy. Like, screw the being on stage part and all the
Yeah.
gore you get from it. It's like, what do you do to prepare for your day to be a great stand-up comedian?
Right.
And I learned so much from that. Where it's like Seinfeld said he noticed people write an hour a day, so he started writing 2 hours a day. You know what I mean? And like he constantly is working on new. Seinfeld does not have to come up with any new material. He's 72. He's a billionaire. He's done it, but he's so in love with comedy, his brain can't stop doing it. So right now, Seinfeld is somewhere in New York,
Right.
just had a thought, and he's writing it down to see if it's going to work out. You know what I mean? Like, and I just love that. Like, he
Psychopathic.
never lost the hunger, no matter how successful he got. Which you see a lot of people get successful, and their quality of work just dips down very quickly.
I also like how he's able to present himself as, it's not that he's playing dumb, but it's like he presents himself as, I'm just this suburban idiot kid that, I grew up on Rice Krispie treats and Pop Tarts, and I just went to a comedy club and things worked out. You know, but behind that is ruthless hours dedicated to coming up with comedy.
Super dedicated. Like, he's the man.
Right.
Yeah, and then like also with him writing, like he had never written a TV show before, and he gets that show with Larry David. Apparently, they worked 18 hours a day.
Really?
They would work 18. They would get to the room, they would lock the door, and the two of them would sit there and just write.
That's what he said on the
all day,
podcast?
every day. Yeah, it's like because he says also he talks about it as like comedians. They only think like a newer comedian only looks at the performance side of it. Like
That's like with the mainstream thing.
yeah,
It's like once you see behind the literal curtain at like the nuance of the field. But yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, you're good. Because like he basically said, it was on that same podcast with Tim Ferriss. He was talking about how like him and Chris Rock are best friends. They
Right.
talk on the phone all the time, and he said Chris Rock told him something where he's like, comedy, being a stand-up comedian is a writer's job. Your first job is you're a writer first. At home, you're a writer. And he goes, he said, Chris Rock said, a comedian makes their money during the day. He collects it at night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's good.
So, and that's like a big thing that I try to push on like other comedians is like, you got to write, like if I go a couple days without writing anything new, it's like I will beat myself up and force myself. It's like tonight I'm going to write for an hour or try to write for 2 hours or even try to take an old joke and rework it, anything to like keep progressing forward. Cause some people make the mistake of getting a good 5 minutes of material.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I'm good now. And then a year later, they're still doing the same jokes. And it's like, you plateaued. You got to keep climbing the hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's never ending.
Yeah, you got to up the weight so you get stronger.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Do you think it is like in music? It's like one of the first podcasts that I had. This guy named Ken Z said everybody should write a song. Like no matter if you're musically inclined or not, you should, because that's going to be the most original song that you make, and it's just a thing that humans are kind of like meant to do is kind of express yourself through that particular art form or some art form. Do you think that every human should be a comedian?
Yeah, I think too many human beings think that because they don't have natural talent, that art or entertainment is not for them on any level. And I think like I can't paint or draw, but sometimes when I'm at home and I got nothing to do, I'll draw, and it's stick figure, scratchy.
Yeah.
It's I get something out of it. It makes me feel good.
Yes.
And I think we live in this very this mainstreamy world where everyone's doing something for fame. It feels like
Right.
It's okay to do things just because it feels
Because
good.
you're a
to do
human,
things.
man. Let's get back to doing things because we're human.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
I got a
fucking,
buddy
yeah.
that like he makes collage art and he does great stuff. And I've bought some of his stuff before. He did something this giant mural for my son, like when he was born. A mural. I was like, that means when you're dead. What was it? Is that the right word?
Yeah, I mean, a mural is just anything you pull on the wall.
I dropped out of high school, dude. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I'll say a whole definition, and then somebody will be like, "You mean fractured?" And I'm like, that's the word I was looking for. But
You want a pepperoni pizza?
yeah, right. Like,
What's the thing with the bread and the cheese?
I'm the worst, dude. But yeah, he makes collage art all the time, and like he doesn't make a ton of money off that. He'll make some money when he sells some things, but
Right.
he does it every day because he loves doing it and he
Right.
gets so much joy out of it. And I think enough people miss out on the joy that you get from creating.
Right.
Too many people do, and I think too many people don't realize what they're talented at because they just assumed they wouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's a quote, man. That's a quote. I'm just looking at the time to make sure that, like, after this,
Oh yeah, no, you're
I
good.
write that down and have that start the podcast. That's good, man. Lastly, and usually these podcasts are only 30 minutes to an hour, so I hope people stick around to this. But I'd like to talk about your music
Oh yeah.
and how you got into music and any parallels between comedy and music that you think triggered that initiative to. You mentioned that you played guitar. You were
Yeah.
playing guitar before comedy?
Yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 10, so I've been playing
Gotcha.
for 21 years.
Gotcha.
Music's always been a family thing.
Gotcha.
So my dad's dad,
Yeah.
Larry Taylor, he's a studio musician in Nashville. There's a more famous Larry Taylor than this one who's a bass player.
Gotcha.
My grandpa, apparently his nickname was Guitar Larry Taylor, and he was in the Roy
Oh, the
Orbison
same
band
shit, yeah.
for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then he was a studio musician. He got to play with like Ray Charles and B.B. King before. I think he met Jimi Hendrix once. Like lived full, and he's still in Nashville. And he worked at I think he just retired a couple of years ago, but he worked at a music store up there for years and recorded in studios.
Jeez.
And then my dad had a radio show on 92 Zoo when I was a kid called Jams Plus
Okay.
from 2001 to like 2008. And so I grew up in 92 Zoo, basically, like running around while my dad did his radio show.
Yeah.
And my dad was also a big Deadhead, so he saw the Grateful Dead a bunch in the 90s, and he saw Fish. He took me to see the band Fish a bunch. And so if I'm not doing stand-up comedy, I'll try to go see jam bands whenever I can. I do that a lot. And so, yeah, I just grew up in a very musical home. I was, like, surrounded by it. My mom also, like, loves great music, and she can sing, and, like, I remember one time we went on vacation in New Orleans before Katrina, and we were staying in this hotel, and she was like, "I'll be right back." And I was just in the hotel room watching a movie, and I was like, "Where is she?" And I went down to the lobby, and she was singing with the jazz band in the lobby. And then
didn't tell you.
Yeah, she was singing "At Last" by Etta James. It was really
my
good.
God, such
It
a
was
good
like
song,
really
bro.
good. Yeah,
That's
My
awesome.
mom's a good singer.
Damn.
So yeah, that was like I just grew up in a musical home and always loved it. And so when I was 10, we rented School of Rock just came out on DVD.
Yeah.
And I watched that movie and the scene where Jack Black is teaching the kid how to play Highway to Hell and Iron Man, all that stuff. I grabbed a guitar and I would slow that down.
That's how you know you're passionate about it.
Yeah, and I would put it on super slow mo and I would sit there and match their fingers. And I taught myself how to play guitar through School of Rock at first.
Wow.
And then through YouTube, when YouTube came out like a year or two later, I would just every day after school, whatever song I liked at the time, You Shook Me All Night Long, I'd be like how to play You Shook Me All Night Long on guitar. And I would sit there for hours in my bedroom and try to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I taught myself piano. I didn't teach myself piano, but that's how I've learned a lot of songs. Over
Yeah.
years.
That's awesome.
It's once you find yourself like slowly watching YouTube videos, like that's a different level of like intrigue.
Yeah, for sure. That's like whenever like I found out both my kids are autistic, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
That's a good way to make a joke about
Right.
that.
And so then in high school, I got in a band called Shropshire.
Okay.
And then we went by Shropshire Collective. I left the band to pursue comedy more. I just kind of released music solo. But Shropshire Collective is still a band. Zeke Buckholz, Philip Knott, Frankenstein, a whole group of music. They're awesome. Love those
I had
dudes.
them on the podcast.
Yeah, you should.
You know what I'm saying? You had them.
Oh, yeah. I had Zeke on the podcast. Yeah, because he's a stand-up comedian, too.
And then he was like, Zeke's not my name.
Yeah, yes. That's the clip I just posted. Yeah, I got a couple more clips of that episode to post. But yeah, basically, me and Zeke were friends in high school, and he asked me to be in the band, and so I joined. We've all been best friends ever since. And,
Yeah.
we still have songs that we recorded together since I left the band that we have to go and we're going to shoot music videos for. So it's like I kind of like I feel like I'm this outside show up when I have an idea member now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not an official member, but it's like I'm in the
That's good that they still include
I'm in
you.
the spider web. Yeah. We talk on the phone all the time
Yeah.
about stuff. So like,
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
no, man, I just you're the best, dude. I appreciate it.
You're
Like
the goat, bro.
I discovered you on Instagram. And I was like, Gulf Coast Music. I was like, man, that's a nice studio. I was like, what is this? And then I started watching the videos. And then, like I said, you had a Young Vision on, who's
Right.
my son's uncle. And I was like, oh, Mark, oh, that's so cool. And then, I didn't know where this was. I was so confused. And then when you reached out, because I think I messaged you or commented on a video, and I was like, love to talk about comedy.
Perhaps, but yeah, I wanted to expand the horizons. I really appreciate you saying that. This has changed my life because I've been able to meet guys like you. So
Oh, dude, I think you're doing a great job. I love watching the videos, and I think there's a lot of amazing music on the Gulf Coast and in Mobile.
Yeah.
And so the fact that like you're shining a light on all these people who
Thank you, brother.
definitely could use a boost, just because it's so hard. Millions of people are trying to break into this algorithm that we're all focusing on the internet, and it's hard. And so just this is like a huge help. So like,
Thank you,
dude,
brother.
thank you for what you do. Like for real.
Thank
Like
you.
seriously.
well, the Mobile comedy scene is much better because of you. So
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate it.
thank you guys for tuning in to another episode on the Gulf Coast Music Channel. Carson Taylor, where is your next? Where are we performing this upcoming week?
So this upcoming week we got open mics all in town. Monday we're gonna be at it'll be July 7th. I don't know when this is coming out. So tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully it's out. No,
Well, here, let me give a shout out to some people really quick in
where
the
are you
mics
going
they
to be
run.
performing in August of 2027?
I hope I'm still performing. Please tell me
Yeah.
I'm only
New
performing.
York
that.
with Jerry
Yeah,
Seinfeld.
right? Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully I'm opening for Shane Gillis or something like that.
Yeah.
No, but on Mondays, once a month, we're at Lucky's on Airport. On every Tuesday, we're at Oyster City Brewery. That's Mikey Werneth that runs that. Wednesday, every other Wednesday is at Crossroads. That's
Right.
Ryan Deacle and Nick Brackett. Thursday, I run a mic at Slurp Society. And
Yeah.
there's also a mic at the Rear Pocket. That's going to be Nick Brackett. Zeke Buckholz runs Comedy Mobile. Hillary Josephine Rivera. Josephine, that's my business partner. And just follow Comedy Mobile Comedy. If you type in comedy in Mobile, Alabama, any page that pops up with that, all the names you see, Adam,
Yeah.
And I run Whippersnapper Comedy with Josephine Rivera. So follow that, and we'll get you all the information you need.
One last thing that I meant to ask is, it seems like comedy is like a fraternity. The comedy club of Mobile is like, and I guess of other cities as well. It's like a fraternity.
It is a fraternity that needs way more women, dude. We do not. It's like, and people
The
think
ratio
like,
is still
it's
bad.
the worst, dude. Like some
Yeah.
of my favorite comedians of all time, like Jordan Jensen.
Yeah.
She's a woman, hilarious. She's like one of my favorite comedians working right now, and like I really think like it's sad that I think because there was such a toxic male vibe to comedy for so long, it kind of scared women out of even trying it.
And then also, like, you think that's why women have this like super sexual comedy bit is like the stereotype?
Yeah, I think men just like, because it's so weird. It's like a guy can get on stage and talk about his dick and balls for 30 minutes. No one points it out. A woman makes one period joke like, oh, she only talks about it. It's like, well, what? You're doing the same exact thing.
True.
So it shouldn't even be looked at as an issue.
Right.
Like there should be more women in comedy.
Right.
Because it's a great voice to have. I think it makes comedy better to have that voice.
Yeah.
And I think also we need more women to show up and shut some of these guys up. We're too cocky and confident because we feel like it's our world. Not me, but I'm saying I feel that vibe, and it's like we need some strong women to come in and chop some people down to size. You know what I mean? And let's have some fun and even it out some. I think.
Sure.
Like,
Sure. Well, let's start in Mobile.
yeah, come on, please come. If you are a funny lady, regardless, man, woman, whatever, if you know funny people, like you should do comedy, convince them to come out and try it. We're a bunch of fun, weird goofballs, and we would love to add on to the family.
There you go. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in the next wave. Thank you, brother.
Dude, thank you so much, man. For sure.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.